I was cycling back from the gym today and it just hit me and it reminded me of these mindsets I've been gathering as a 15-year-old entrepreneur because I've been doing this entrepreneurship thing for about 3 years now. I started when I was 12. I know this camera isn't the best, it's like a little line there, but anyway, the point is that I'm going to give you some value because 3 years of doing entrepreneurship, you learn a thing or two. And the first mindset that I want to give you is that basically everything that you want is just at the other side of a wall of pain. For example, if you want to build your dream physique, obviously you need to train your face, you need to train your muscles to failure. You need to do this and you need to like almost grunt, you need to like make these facial expressions that physically show how much pain you're going through. And the thing is that this might seem bad. This might seem like, oh, I have to go through so much pain, why would I do that? But think about it this way, this is another mindset is from Alex Hormozi. The harder it is, the happier you should get because it means nobody else will try to do what you're doing. And it means everybody else will quit. And if you're the one person who continues going, you're going to be the only person who wins. Are you going to be the person who gets the results that they want? I personally believe that mindsets are more powerful than tactics because you can have the best tactic in the world, but if you have horrible mindset and you think like you're going to find ways to make the best tactic not work if you have bad mindset. If you believe that you're a loser, that it can't work for you, it's not going to work if you don't believe it's going to work. Compared to if you have a mediocre tactic, but you have amazing mindsets. Even though you have a mediocre tactic, which isn't the best, these mindsets will gather you through and you're going to find ways to succeed even though you don't have the best tactic because you have these successful mindsets. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to eat today. It's just some butter and eggs, and I'm going to cook some minced meat in a minute. And something that I also wanted to share with you is that basically whatever you want out of life, you just basically have to pay for it. Like, you get what you deserve. I knew that's a kind of a harsh mindset to really swallow because you might think like, oh, this thing is holding me back, oh, the lack of knowledge. But the lack of knowledge is your fault. You should be watching videos and learning how to be successful. And I'm telling you this because this is from my own experience. I'm telling you that when I wasn't learning, when I wasn't gathering information and applying it into my life, that's when I just was stalling and I wasn't really making any progress in my business. Just recently I've been learning a lot about productivity and now I feel way more confident about my coaching, which is about productivity. And because I've been learning, I know way more stuff that I can help. Basically, people who are even making more money than me, and I'm confident in doing that because I had to watch the videos, I had to do the actions to get what I wanted, which was basically more knowledge, more confidence, more money. And the thing is that you deserve everything that you get. And I say that again because once you actually take responsibility for everything that happens in your life, and this is something that I've been hearing from Charlie Morgan, from Iman, from Hamza, you know these creators, and probably even probably even Alex Hormozi have said, once you actually take, once you actually take responsibility for what happens in your life, that's when you actually start making progress. And I've seen this firsthand. Once I actually took everything, once I actually thought to myself, okay, everything is my fault, no matter what. Everything that I do is everything that I do will get me to the place that I deserve to be, okay? Once I had that mindset, that's when I started actually learning, implementing, and actually making a way more progress. One of Iman's videos on 7 ways to get rich or something like that, or 7 mindset to get rich, something like that, one of his videos, he was talking about how one day he realized that everything in his life is his fault. And he basically just took that mindset and 6 months later he was making 15K per month. And I know this mindset is a little bit harsh, but the good thing is that you have control over your life. Think about how great that is. Think about the fact that you can literally become a millionaire or be broke. Like, I know obviously becoming a millionaire isn't very easy, but that means you actually have the possibility to. Imagine if we were living 1,000 years ago and you were born into a poor, I know Victorians wasn't 1,000 years ago, but you get the point. So let's say you were born into a poor Victorian family. There was no chance of you getting rich. You did not have the education, you do not have the YouTube, you do not have the Alex Hormozi to give you business advice, you had nothing. Think about the fact that right now, it is the easiest time to become successful, but it's also the easiest time to get distracted, which is something that Alex Hormozi talks about. So with all of this, I want to give you this reframe of a mindset because you might think that pain is a bad thing. Like, obviously, we as humans are wired to think that pain is a bad thing. Obviously, if we're like getting hurt, if our muscle are getting like punched or something, obviously we're going to try and run away. But I want you to reframe pain for it to be a good thing, for you to actually crave it. For example, this morning I literally woke up and I didn't want to do the work, but I used this tactic, which was literally just telling myself that, oh, I'm only going to do it for 5 minutes. So basically making it easy because I didn't want to get out of bed, but then when I framed it into, oh, I'm only going to script a video for only 5 minutes, I got out of bed. So that's another tactic that you can use. But anyway, I was doing that and the first hour was pretty easy. I was scripting and I actually kind of enjoyed it. But the second hour, it's actually kind of like, there was a little bit of pain, just a little bit of boredom, and I didn't really want to do it. but I just kept pushing through, and it felt good because I was like, oh, I'm pushing through this pain. This is the person I'm going to become. Every single minute that I keep pushing through this pain means that I'm going to become more successful. So I'm reframing this pain to enjoyment. And when you frame it that way, it makes it so easy to succeed because because think about it, everybody else in the world has the mindset that pain is bad, I should avoid it. But if you're the one person who can literally seek pain, who actively wants to feel the pain, then you're gonna surpass a lot of people. And I'm telling you this firsthand because I do this martial art called judo, and at some point I didn't really take it too seriously. I was taking like entrepreneurship a little bit more seriously, and it was just a bad choice really because I had time. But anyway, point is I was really kind of slacking in judo, and it became worse and worse. And some of my friends that I used to beat easily or were beating me, and obviously it was hurting my ego. I was like feeling like, how are these people who were worse than me beating me? And for so long I was skipping class because I didn't want to face the pain. But after a while I was like, I'm done. I'm just gonna face the pain and get good at the martial art. Obviously in the first few classes I was getting beat like always, but then after a while I was like getting better at it. I was getting good at it again because I used to be really good at the martial art. And then I started getting better and better and better, and I started actually like being at the same level as my friends. And then I got better and better because I was like watching some YouTube videos and learning about it, and now I'm actually really, really good. I'm the top person in the kids class. Well, actually before the brown belt, but I became really, really good. I wish I had like some footage that I could show you. If I could, I'll probably pop some up in the screen, but I basically just improved a lot just because I faced the pain and I took responsibility for my own life because I made the mistake, then I had to get back from the setback, from the mistake. And you know, last Friday, which was about 3 days ago, I got hurt. And then you can see basically it doesn't look that bad, but basically my friend really, really dropped me hard onto the ground in BJJ, because I do BJJ and judo. And it was actually kind of embarrassing because in judo you learn how to take down people, but I got taken down by someone who doesn't even know how to take people down. Well, he kind of does, but you get the point. He doesn't do judo, and that actually fueled me. It was a setback that actually fueled me to take judo way more seriously, because the next day I had a 3 hour and a half training session. It made me actually take it seriously because I was like, how is this guy beating me? I literally got hurt from a guy who doesn't do judo. And I want to give you that extra mindset that I literally learned, that I wrote in my homework for life, which is something that Matthew Dix, which is a really good storyteller, talks about. And basically what I wrote was that every setback is almost like a slingshot for success. When I had this injury, I thought to myself, I'm not going to go to judo, I got this injury, I don't really want to. But then I realized, wait, why didn't I go? I need to take judo more seriously because I got this injury. And that actually made me, from that setback, I became more successful because of the setback. So setbacks are usually just part of the process. And I want to share this other mindset that I've been learning, is that you might think that everything might not be going your way, that there's pain. That thing is that is how entrepreneurship and most things in life are. You're not going to be too sure, and even Iman talks about this in one of his videos, like a 12-minute video where he's in a car and he talks about the fact that he's not even, sometimes even though he makes so much money, he's sometimes even unsure, like I am. I'm sometimes unsure about my business, and so you might be too. So don't be afraid, because I'm unsure, other people are unsure, everybody's unsure. You just need to keep learning, keep applying, and basically just taking action and facing the pain, because the pain is the way to get to what you want. And I've learned that so firsthand through judo, through entrepreneurship, through the gym as well. Like when I actually started facing the pain and actually starting to train to failure, that's when I actually started to see muscle growth. Because for so long, for almost a year, I literally made no muscle, and that's because I wasn't trained to failure. I want to show you. I have a pretty good physique. I believe I have a pretty good physique. Obviously it's not the best physique, but look, I have a little bit of chest muscle. The lighting is not the best, but for a 15-year-old, I have a pretty good physique compared to my other skinny fat friends at school. By the way, I do want to mention the reason I'm eating like 9 eggs with tomato is because butter is fat, and fat creates testosterone, and also eggs have cortisol that give you testosterone as well, that basically just converts into testosterone. And you might think that, oh, isn't it gonna block your arteries? But not really. It's like a different type of cholesterol. I'm not gonna lie to you, I actually don't know, but I know it just doesn't block your arteries because it's a different type of cholesterol. There is this YouTuber called, or entrepreneur, I don't know, teacher I guess you would call him, called Dr. Anthony Shafee. He talks about the carnivore diet, about not eating carbs, some really good advice when it comes to diet and things like this. So if you want, you can check him out. He gives really good diet and nutrition advice. I'm not gonna lie to you, I made this video because I really wanted to get this out of my head, and I want to share this knowledge because I know it's really, really valuable. I'm just getting a plate. And it was really, really valuable whenever I shared it with other people who actually might need it, like you, who these mindsets that I've been gathering through years and years of pain, of struggle, that I want to share with you, because recently I've like taken responsibility for my own life. And because of taking responsibility for my own life, I've been making way, way, way more progress than I used to when I was taking responsibility for my own life, and I was just kind of hoping that things happened. So to summarize everything that I've said, it's just basically pain is just the way to get what you want, and you need to start seeking the pain. And the way you do that is by reframing and giving evidence to your brain that pain is actually good. You can't just tell yourself, oh, pain equals good, and you expect your brain to believe it. You can't do that. Just like imagine you have a friend and he's always arriving late to events. You're not gonna trust him until the day that he actually arrives on time to these events. Same with your brain. You need to give it evidence that pain is actually good, so it believes that pain is actually good. So the next time you go to the gym, tell your brain like, oh, this pain equals good, because the more pain that I endure, the more my muscles will grow. Same with your business. See, like, frame it from, oh, this is boring, this is painful, to I'm literally trotting through and no one else will follow. This means that I'm literally gonna succeed because nobody else is gonna try to face the pain that I'm going through. And this makes pain actually good, because it means you're actually framing it in a way that goes from, oh, poor me, to like, it's like, oh, it's gonna be boring for me, like, oh, poor me, to, oh, poor everyone else is gonna have to try. There's another mindset from Alex Hormozi that I want to give you. And the last thing is that right now, as I'm gonna eat my breakfast, my 9 eggs and tomato, I was gonna cook some mince, but my mom already freaking made some other stuff, but yeah, it's gonna be pretty good anyway. So the last thing is that I'm going to be watching a Charlie Morgan video, and I'm going to be learning. And I'm telling you, when you're actually learning, that is the time where you're going to make the most progress. Like right now, I'm learning about judo. I'm watching like YouTube videos on judo. Like, for example, there's this one move where you like move your shoulder so you can break the grip. I know that's like very specific, and only if you know judo you'll kind of understand. But anyway, I've been learning about judo, like breaking grips. I've been learning about entrepreneurship, about productivity. And this is the time that I'm making the most progress compared to, for example, just a week ago. I was just watching Yusa's YouTube videos. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was actually wasting my time. Even though I was like, I like to see myself as productive, I was just wasting my time most of the day. And I wasn't really making any progress, and I was afraid that I was just kind of like, I had this imposter syndrome where I didn't really feel like I was a correct coach because I wasn't productive myself and I was teaching productivity. But now I'm actually confident with my product, with me being a coach, because I'm actually productive as a productivity coach. So I just want to give you the last mindset that basically whenever you have time, whenever you're eating your meal, just like learn something from like Charlie Morgan. And this is so specific, but there's certain channels that are just boring and certain channels that you like. For example, I like Charlie Morgan, Alex Hormozi, Hamza. And then maybe there's like specific channels that you like, because sometimes I don't like Charlie Morgan. Sometimes I'm like bored of watching his videos and I watch other videos. Like watch what actually interests you. Don't just watch business videos because you need to be a businessman. Like watch videos that actually interest you. For example, if you're interested in psychology, learn about psychology. So you're actually interested in learning rather than forcing yourself to learn, which is the worst thing that you can do. And if you actually take this advice, because this is the advice, this is not my own advice that I've been gathering. This is the advice that I've almost experienced through my life and that I've heard so many successful people talk about. For example, Hamza's talked about the time when he was learning the most was when he was growing the most, when his channel was exploding. Charlie Morgan was talking about when he actually took responsibility for his life, that's when he actually started to make 10K per month. Same with Iman, when he started taking responsibility for his life, 6 months later he started making 15K per month. So I'm really grateful that you actually spend this time with me, I guess, cooking, because you're actually spending your time productively and not just wasting your time on, there's so many things you could be doing. So I'm grateful that you actually spend your time productively and learning that this will actually benefit you for the rest of your life, rather than some entertainment video that would just benefit you for like 15 minutes until it ends. So I'm very grateful that you were able to sit through this video without too many distractions. And yeah, thank you very much and bye. Woo!